Now we're going to set up master pages for our brand new file. These are some things that we are going to touch on, or set, or talk about. First off, because I chose facing pages for my document, the default A master has facing pages. I'm going to apply this to everything on the inside of my booklet, but I don't really want to apply it to the front and back cover because I find the front and the back cover of a booklet, they tend to march to the beat of their own drum. The rules that we set on the inside don't usually apply. Like the headings are bigger, the intro text is a size that maybe doesn't appear on the inside, or the logo's in a slightly different place. Whatever it is, I'd rather address the front and the back cover individually without a master applied. So for the master, we have a spread. And I'm going to look at my options here. A is fine as a prefix. I'm going to call this a one-column layout. And I'm going to set it at 2 pages. You can set it to 1, you can set it to 3, you can set it to whatever you need for the file. In this case, it's going to be 2. Now I've pre-made some stuff that I'm going to use as design elements. We are going to say that this piece has tabs, and I want, because we're setting this up for the first time, I want it to look like, as I'm flipping through this document, that the tabs are flipping. For the master page, I'm going to put all the tabs I could possibly need in place. And then I'm going to override them on the active pages for the ones that I don't need. And if that doesn't make sense, on page 2, we wouldn't see this. So I'm going to Shift, Command, and click, and that will bring this element from the master page into the live page, and I can delete it because it won't show up there. In fact, none of these on page 2 are going to show up here. So I'm going to hold down Shift and Command and click and drag, select all of those from the master page, and delete them for page 2. And for page 3, if this were a physical piece, this might be more or less what it looks like. So this is good for client review. On pages 4 and 5, let's say this one has been turned. So I won't see these. And then the next page down, I will see the top 2, but not the bottom 2. And I won't see the top 2 over here because they have been turned. So that's the example of how I'm going to use all of the tabs on the master page. This way, if something changes, like the tab color changes or the text on the tab changes in some way, I only need to edit it once and it carries through on all of my other pages. But since we've added tabs, and tabs are, at least at CB, they're about 1/2 inch tall, now it doesn't look like there's a 1/2 inch margin all the way around. So I'm going to select both of my master pages here and go to Layout, Margins, and Columns, and I'm going to add another, not there, I'm going to add another 1/2 inch to the outside. Something to consider, this is designing for a saddle-stitched piece. So this 1/2 inch margin visibly matches this 1/2 inch all the way around. But if this were a wire-bound piece, then we would need another 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch on the inside to accommodate that wire binding so that it still looks like it has 1/2 inch all the way around the content. So we're going to say that this is my logo. I'm going to put this in the bottom right-hand corner here. And I've got it eyeballed in here, but I want to make sure it's exact. So I really like this coordinate placement tool here. So I'm going to use my point of reference being the bottom right-hand corner. And I see that it's at the x-axis, it's at 16 inches, which is where I want it to be. And the y-axis is at 10.5, also where I want it to be. Now for the page numbers, that's what those are. Not that you can really tell. I made these page numbers by clicking in the text box and going to Type, Insert Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number. So that's what that is. These I probably want those to be at 10.75. So now these are at the correct y coordinates that I want, and I want this one to be over here and this one to be over here. The easiest way to get those to align is to select them both, open my Align panel. If this toolbar were wider, I would have a little Align panel up here, but it's not quite wide enough, so I'm going to open my entire Align panel here and right align them. And this one, I'm going to use my coordinates over here. I'm going to put the x at 1 inch, and that is exactly where I want that to be. Now that I have my 1 column set up, remember I wanted to have a 2 column setup, but the only thing that I want different is the number of columns. So I don't need to create a new master and then copy and paste all of these things. I can create a new master. Let's call it the B master. Let's call this a 2 column arrangement. Still 2 pages. And I'm going to base it on the A master. So now the B master has the A master applied to it, which means still if I go to the A master and I need to change the color or the type size, or if I need to change anything on the A master, it will filter through to the B master, and not only every page that has the A master applied, but also every page that has the B master applied. And I can mix and match masters as much as I need to. Let's say I want the A master here and the B master here. Now I haven't set my columns yet, so I will do that now. So I'm going to select both pages of the 2 column B master and go to Layout, Margins, and Columns, and make that a 2 column thing with a 1/4 inch margin, or 1/4 inch gutter, sorry. Now in my live pages, you can see A master, B master, B master, A master. So these are the things we talked about. Master pages, you can make it as many pages as you need. Adding tabs, I like to do it on the master page so that if I need to make edits, I need to make it the fewest number of times possible. Setting margins, we went over. Repeating graphics, that's what master pages are for, things that repeat. Repeating graphics, page numbers, setting columns, and using multiple masters and even applying one master to another. And remember, considerations for setting margins. 1/2 inch default is fine, unless the design calls for something different. If it's wire-bound or a hardcover book, allow another 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch on the inside. If the piece has tabs, add another 1/2 inch more on the outside so that it still looks like your margins are consistent around the content itself.